If you're looking to learn how to train specifically for the 400, then this video is for you. A lot of people are familiar with technique, and I have a video specifically about race strategy for the 400 meter, so you have a good game plan. If you haven't watched that, I'll include it in the link in the description below. But like most people don't know how to train for the 400 correctly. Number one, you gotta have a goal, right? You have to know where you want to be at the end of the season. You have to know what time is gonna get you there. It has to be realistic. Once you figure out those things, you're able to work backwards from your goal. So whether I want to make it to nationals, I want to make it to the Olympics, I want to make it to state meet, what time is going to get me there? Is it realistic? What date do I need to be at my peak performance? And then you work backwards from there. I promise you that's how every professional goes about their training. They don't just say, I want to run fast every week. Like, yeah, you do, but you need to be training specifically to reach your goal when you need to reach it. The second concept that's true for the 100, 200, and 400 is you want to train quality. When you train quality, you want to train quantity when you train quantity. This is specifically true for the 400, maybe more true than the 1 and the 2. Like everyone understands pretty much you want to be a fast, explosive 100, 200 meter runner. I've gotten a few comments like, hey, can't you do like the 8 and the 4 together? And the answer is yes and no. You never see someone go back to back 800 meter champion, 400 meter champion, because the skill sets are similar, but like also very different, that it doesn't work together. What you will see are people that do the 200 and 400, they can go back to back. You'll see someone do the 100, 200, they can go back to back champions. You can even say that like if Usain Bolt wanted to, he could probably medal, if not get gold, in the 1, 2, and 4 in the same meet because he understands the basic principles of sprinting, but it doesn't work. The 800, it just you'll see people do the 800 in the 16 or the 1500 meter because those energy systems are closely linked, but it's just way too much. So that's my spiel on why you can't do the 8 and the 4 effectively together. Now that we understand that you need to know how to run the 100, the 200, and the 400 in order to be good or great in one or all of these, and that the principles don't change that much. Let's go over how to train quantity when you train quantity and quality when you train quality. So before we do that, we're gonna, like I said, I have a strategic 400 meter video that seemed to get great response for people learning how to run, wanting to learn 400 meter strategy, right? Which is you get out hard, maybe 90%, 95%. This is a backstretch where you don't slow down, but you don't put any more effort into going fast. If you can picture a car that's on cruise control, it's not slowing down, it's not speeding up. And then we break up this turn into an uphill portion. So you pretend like you're running uphill, which is going to be part of our training. And then a downhill portion where you begin to pick your turnover up and put more effort into finishing this strong here. Now, the reason that 400 meter runners need to understand the basic principles of sprinting rather than getting into 800 meter is because of this. This is why 400 meter runners need to know how to run the 100 and 200, right? So at this point, this is a foot speed race. Fastest turnover, best stride length wins. Why? An 800 meter runner and a 400 meter runner and a 100, 200 meter runner are all going to be gassed at the 300 meter point. Doesn't matter, right? It kind of doesn't matter. Like if you jogged it, you may not be as tired, but you're still going to be winded compared to when you start. So the person that's going to win this is the person with the best foot speed, the best turnover, the best stride length, right? So that's why, again, I keep touching on this point because I think it's a super important one. The 400 meter people need to train in a sprint style with those fast twitch fibers, all that stuff. So I went over all of this in the 100, 200 meter training video as well. Important to go over again. Off season, you're going to have football players, baseball players, basketball, whatever, track people. I've noticed that 400 meter people are more true. I'm not going to say that. I've noticed that 400 meter people typically are not like, what am I saying? I've noticed that 400 meter people are typically like track people. You know, there's like football guys that run track that do like, they're so explosive, right? They're 100 meter, they'll kill it. The long jump, they'll kill it. The 200, they'll do really well. They'll begin to get into a mix of people that are just true track people that have run track forever. They start to excel in the 200, 400 meter. Not always true, but somewhat true, right? So the off season, you do what, you know, just stay fit, stay in shape. You can be in the weight room, you can be playing other sports, stretching, all that good stuff. You want to stretch all the time, but when we get into preseason, you want this is the same concept for 100, 200, 400, a total of about 2,400 meter sprinting. You don't want to get more than that, especially if you're spiking up. You shouldn't be spiking up often, if at all, in preseason, but you don't want to run greater than that. And actually the 100, 200, 400 people, they pretty much train together. It's just a sprint group at this point, right? So we're talking about things like 8 times 300 meters to get to that total of 2,400 meters. We're talking about hill work, 100 meters times 10. We're talking about 200 meters times 5, all uphill, stadium work, plyometric work, all that kind of good stuff. You want to make sure that you're allowing appropriate rest, but you don't have to get crazy with the rest. 2 to 6 minutes here. We're just trying to get into condition. We're making sure that 75% of our workouts are quantity, 25% are quality. This doesn't have to be exact. This doesn't have to be exact. They're just good guidelines, good measures, especially when you don't know what you're doing. So then we get in season here. This is going to be December-ish, right? You want more quality workouts and less quantity workouts, which means that your total that you're sprinting is going to go down. You know, this could be, 1,800 meters. It doesn't have to be exactly 1,500, but it's going to be less than here because our quality has gone up. And because our quality style workouts have gone up, the rest has gone up. So maybe instead of, for 400 people, you want to do like, maybe you want to do 6 times 300. But you're gonna get 6 to 8 minutes rest, right? Which means that these will be, 80% of max speed, much faster than when we did this with less rest. Another one that you might be doing in season are going to be 150s. I think 150s are good for 1, 2, and 400. They're far enough to work your energy systems that will be used in all of these, right? 150s are, and you can do 8 times 150, but you keep maybe 6 to 8 minutes rest, but maybe you run these at, 95% max speed, okay? And when you look at percentages and speeds and times that you may want to be, the time that you want to hit in this 300, or the time that you want to hit in these 150s. Remember, we're working backwards from our goal. So if our goal is 50 seconds or sub 50 seconds, we're going to make sure that these 300s and these 150s are geared towards hitting this time. Maybe we're not right now. They may be a little slower. They may be on par with that time, but they're not much out of the range of this time. Because eventually we're working towards peak season. This is when we're working towards, we're always working back towards our goal, but now we're getting much more focused. This is going to be 85% quality, 15% quantity. Again, the total distance goes down, the total rest goes up, right? So one of my favorite workouts for 400 in doing this, which again, this is going to be used for the 200 and the 100. This is not just 400. It's going to be 3 times 350, right? But what you want to do is make sure that these are 100% speed or even greater than. The greater than sign is this way. Okay? So you're going to allow 12 minutes, take the full 12. I'll even give you 15 because it takes 8 to 12 minutes for your nervous system to recover. So what you'll do is obviously, you'll start in blocks. Maybe you'll start on the turn here, or you can start at the start, you want to make sure that you're going to end at the 350, but you have to understand that you're running 50 meters less than you would be in the 400, right? So we're going to make that quality super high. This time is going to be, we're going to make sure that our time here is equal to is going to be at 49.5. Okay, this is not the time that you finish, but this is the pace that you're running. Your 350 is going to be paced at 49.5 seconds because we're going to have to do it again and then again. And now we've worked 3 extremely high quality reps so that when we get to the meet, we already know we can do 1 rep of 400 at 49.5, right? So I hope that makes sense a little bit. And like you still want to have, remember we're training just for sprinting. A 400 is a sprint. We're not going to neglect speed in this case. So whether that's 4 times 150 with 12 minutes rest, right? Making sure that 150 pace is at, you can you don't want to pace it to your 400. You might want to be at, 125%. I'm just making this up here. I haven't really done the math, but you want to make sure that it's extremely fast. We're just working quality here, okay? And I'm trying to make this video not too long. So what I've done is I've created a 12-week program specifically for the 400 meter, which I'll include in the description below, and it's going to have all of these principles. It's going to work off of this sprint principle pyramid that I have here. It's going to be, have the rest included, the total distance included, so that you can begin to learn how to train in order to reach your goal and how to train like a pro. And of course, like I've said in almost every video that I've made on sprinting, in order to be a good 400 meter runner, you have to be a good 100 and 200 meter runner. So if you haven't seen those videos, I highly recommend you check those out.